All right, continuing our availability, we now welcome Martin Truex Jr., driver of the number 56 Napa Auto Parts Toyota, currently 6th in points. Martin, talk a little bit about coming into Michigan this weekend.
Yeah, excited to be here. We've so far had a pretty good day with our Napa Toyota and trying to continue on what we've been doing all season long, and that's, having strong runs, being consistent, and trying to get back to victory lane. So excited to be here. We had a fairly strong car in the first race here, and I think we had a little bit of trouble with pitting and the caution coming out a few times and fighting track position. But I remember having a fast car, and the track's really, really fast again, and looking forward to having a great weekend here and making our way into the chase in a few weeks.
All right, we'll open it up for questions for Martin. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start up front with Lee, then go to Bob.
Hey, Spencer, Fox Sports. When Carl left, you guys were talking about how crazy the track was, talking to or listening to a lot of guys over the radio. Finding balance and exiting out of the corner seemed to be really, really crazy out there.
Yeah, the track was really slick, like it had been sitting for a while when we first went out there. And, to be honest, it took really the whole practice to get any kind of grip in the race car and the racetrack. And, every time you went out, you'd get a little bit faster. But until the very last run, it was just absolutely treacherous. So I'm not real sure what was going on there. I don't know if the truck's having a little bit different tire compound, and then the track's sitting with that rubber on there, and then us trying to run was part of it. But, when we did the tire tests here, and when we raced here last time in practice, it was a little bit the same way, but never as bad as this practice was. So it was kind of strange. But, we never really got a lot of laps on the track today. We went out there, ran a lap or two, and somebody blew up, had a caution, it sat, and then that happened again. So it just took a little while to get some grip in the track, and really until our last two runs, it was really almost even pointless to make laps. You're just trying to go out there and get some time on the tires and get some heat and everything, and hopefully the track would come in, and it finally did. So a little bit not really sure what to think for qualifying. It's going to sit again after truck practice. We go out to qualify, so it could be a pretty hairy qualifying session today.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Bob.
Bob Packer, Sporting News. Some of the other guys said that was a real narrow groove, and is that kind of what you traded off with this tires?
Well, it's still a narrow groove, and that's just because when you come here and practice, everybody wants to run where the car's fast. You're not going to move around, and it's going to take some time. Qualifying practice, generally you don't run anywhere but the fastest groove on the track. So we'll just see where it goes. But at some point, I think we need to figure out how to get the tracks run in before we get out there to practice on them, because we pretty much had an hour and a half practice there where we only had 15 minutes that were even worth running. So somehow we need to figure out how we get to racetracks and have them ready to go.
Additional questions for Martin? All right, Lee, follow up. We'll get a mic to you.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Understand that you're close to the contract, and this is more of a situation as to what makes a driver marketable when you're going in to negotiate your contract. What do you point out about your resume that is, I guess, equal to what your compensation should be?
I think, well, I know that's a tough. Well, I mean, I don't know. Right. I mean, there's a lot of things obviously that go into past results, and your relationship with the sponsors that you have or are trying to bring, or that you have a relationship with. There's more to it than just driving anymore. Obviously, we all know that. But being able to come in with a sponsor, and if you can bring that sponsor to a team, you have a lot of leverage. And you see guys go out there and find sponsors and take them wherever they want. That kind of thing happens. Obviously that gives you a little bit more leverage than if, a team had a sponsor and was looking for a driver. Then they're going to give you what they want to give you, so you wouldn't have as much. But there's so many different things that go into it now. Obviously there's a handful of guys out there that have really big deals, and, I think across the board, everybody's deals have kind of gotten smaller over the past few years, especially with the economy. The sponsorship numbers are down. Even the big deals, the money has come down in the past few years. So, things have definitely changed, and you just have to play by ear, and you know, you try to do what's fair for you and your team. You don't want to go in somewhere and say, I demand this much money, this is what I'm worth, and you know, you're going to lose this much money in a year because you don't have sponsorship. So you try to, at least in my case, you try to not necessarily go in there and you know, try to get what you got before or more than you got before. You want to do what's best for everybody involved, and in my situation, that's kind of how I usually take it. I've taken pay cuts before and worked with teams before on trying to you know, do the best we could for everybody, because at the end of the day, you're working together as a team. You're trying to go out there and perform, and you know, if your driver makes all the money that the sponsor brand gives you, there's no room in there to make your cars faster. So there's a lot that goes into it. Yeah.
Additional questions for Martin.
Martin, Rich Colbert with Motor Racing Network. Atlanta's a couple of weeks away. MWR has always shown a lot of strength on the mile-and-a-half tracks. Can you give a preview of that track and talk about going to there?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to that one for a while, and it's, you know, since we went to one race per year on the schedule at Atlanta, you know, it's kind of disappointing to me. I really enjoy that track. It's one of my favorites, a place where I've had a lot of success, and I really like the fact that it's old and wore out, and you can run all over it, you know, kind of like it used to be here at Michigan, and I just enjoy those type of racetracks. So it's very fast, it wears the tires out, it's a lot of fun to race on, and of course it's the headquarters for Napa Auto Parts too, so we look forward to going there and putting on a good show for them, and hopefully getting back to victory lane.
All right. Any final questions? Do you have a question? All right, we'll take, go.
Martin, you might have already answered this, but we got here late. Just wondering how the track has potentially changed here in the last 2 months. Is it working out any better for you guys?
Well, it was definitely different today. It was quite slick at the beginning of practice, and really until the last 15 minutes or so, that was hard to get any grip out there. So we talked about it earlier. Not real sure why. You know, maybe the tires that the trucks have been running today didn't quite agree with the tires that we're on, or what. But the track was really treacherous there for a while. So hopefully it'll be a little bit better for qualifying.
All right, Martin, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Good luck this weekend.